What's up, peeps? Welcome to the Up and After podcast. Grab a mug. Let's have a talk.
What do you want? It's too early for visitors.
I then awake as refreshed and recharged as a newborn child, ready to take on the day's challenges.
Welcome to the Up and After podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chris. And I'm my other host.
Is it me again?
It is. Oh,
Hi.
who are you?
My name's Riley. How you doing? That's spelled Riley.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't listen to those fools who spell it Reilly.
Is there people who spell it like
I
that?
believe so.
Huh. Well, what if I told you, right? There's a show out there
Mm.
that has a really great story, really
Okay.
great action, and
There's a lot of
really
those.
great music. Huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
but what if
narrow
I
it
also
down here.
told you it's animated and it's not
Animated.
Disney?
Okay, so we're talking about a show that's animated. Good action, good music, good story.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm.
X-Men 97.
Oh fuck, you got me. So today we're talking about X-Men 97. No,
I can say
we're
it's
talking about
Disney now.
Arcane
Okay.
today. X-Men 97. And technically that would be Disney now.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Damn. I'm off my game
yeah,
today.
no.
I'm off my game.
Nah, we discussing Arcane today.
Hell yeah.
It's produced by Fortich?
Ortiz, yeah, they're like a French studio, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Bunch of Frenchmen showing off
But
their
they're
chops.
supervised by Riot, so yeah, that's
sounds about
pretty dope. Yeah, is there anything you wanted to tackle like specifically at first? Because
In
I
the
think we should
macro
do like
sense.
a spoiler free first, and then we
Ooh.
get into like the nitty gritty of like specific plot elements that we like, specific action parts that we like, stuff like that. But we can get in that later. It's just like anything you wanted to tackle right now, spoiler free.
If we're going spoiler free, all I would say is that it's a show. Let's see, how would I pitch this to someone?
Exactly.
I would say that it's a show that is based on the characters from League of Legends, but there is no prerequisite knowledge of League of Legends or its characters required to get into this show. And it's more just like if you are familiar with the world and the characters and the stories, then you'll be
It's just a
rewarded.
plus.
Yeah, you'll get to like notice more details. I would say overall, it's just like you said at the start. It's just a really well-crafted story with really interesting and emotionally complex characters and incredible music and action and animation. And it's just,
Well,
I mean,
sorry.
I'll just say is the reason we're talking about this is because this show is like maybe the best show that came out last year, and it's there's a lot of shows that you can talk about, but in this case, this is something that kind of just came out of nowhere and just like blew everyone's balls off because like who would really expect a show about one of the most cancerous games on the internet to be this goddamn good?
Yeah, I think it does excellent. Like the world building in this show is also really like fascinating. Like I really want to like dive into like the world also, and I think they do a pretty good job of doing that.
Yeah, it makes you like excited for like future seasons just to see like where, because there's so many places you could go. There's so many different locales and like nations and kingdoms and stuff that you can explore, and it's really cool that we're just doing this big deep dive onto this one, and it's probably going to continue into the next season. But in the future, they can leave options open for like, well, let's go to Noxus or Bilgewater or wherever, Demacia, whatever the fuck,
Yeah. I wasn't really like expecting anything from this show. Because I was like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. I heard some things around Twitter, but nothing like really um to like drive me into watching it. It wasn't until Riley was like, "Yo, you gotta watch Arcane. I'm 3 episodes in, and it's fucking amazing." It's like I was like, "What, bro?"
Yeah.
I mean, okay, sure, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, I had no
um,
plans of watching it. And then one day I had like finished everything I was doing. I had like done all my work, and uh I think it was I was about to go on vacation, I think, for the weekend, and it was like, a few hours before I had to leave, and I really had nothing else to do, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna go on Netflix, and I just saw the first thing pop up. It's like Arcane, League of Legends. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I didn't even hear anybody talking about it, even though everyone was talking about it.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just like, all right, yeah, I clicked it, and I watched the first 3 episodes just all in a row, back to back. And by the end of the third episode, I'm like, holy fucking shit, I need to watch this with someone. I need to like share my feelings of this with someone, because the third episode, like in this show, like broken down into acts, like this 3 act show you have here. The first act, the first 3 episodes are so masterfully crafted that the third episode just feels like one of the most intense season finales you'll ever see. And it got me so hooked into wanting to see more of the show, but I couldn't because I needed to watch it with someone else. And that's how we watched the
That's
rest
how
of
I
it together.
felt
Yeah.
by the end of like first season of Euphoria. But like obviously that was the ending of the season, so I was just like, I have to go back and watch this with someone because like it's just me. Like I'm the only one who basically digested this masterpiece. So I totally
Right.
get what you're saying when you're saying like you felt that on the third episode and shit. By the time we finished the third episode, like when he got me caught up, I was like, yeah, no, I see why Riley likes this.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
great. No spoilers, of
Um,
course, but it's really great.
Yeah, I would even say also like playing off the whole world building thing. If you're trying to get like a grasp, if you're trying to figure out what the show is like with us just speaking, I would say it's kind of like steampunk. Also, it's very kind of man, I see it as like a steampunk world almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's it's,
There's some.
it's
It
steampunk
take
sci-fi.
it takes a lot of aspects of like a bunch of different kind of fantasy and sci-fi
Mhm.
and just all kinds of fictional worlds and just kind of cramps it together.
Yeah. Um.
So, oh my god, dude, we're gonna be fucking just gushing over this show for the next however long.
So off of that, do you want to do like characters first? Do you want to dive into
Oh man,
music, like maybe, or do you just want to do like an overall review? How do you want to
dude,
tackle this?
it's so hard because there's just so many things to
Exactly.
talk about.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's very difficult because like if we want to talk about characters first, then it's like, do we just talk about like all 9 episodes? Like because then we're kind of
Okay,
just glancing
so
over this time skip. But if we talk about episodes, just like we're not getting as deep into the characters. Like,
yeah,
oh, it's
that's the
tough.
thing. It's so hard, especially for like show like a movie. It's easy because it's like right then and there.
Yeah, it's a
But when
single
it comes to a
thread structure.
show, there's so much going on. You know what I mean?
There are so many characters in it. This show is 9 episodes, and there's a lot of there's not like an overabundance of characters, but there's a decent amount of characters, and
Yeah,
they're all like
yeah.
really fleshed out, so it's kind of difficult. I'm fine starting with characters though, if you want.
Okay,
What we could
okay.
do, we could do like the first 3 episodes and just like kind of focus on those first, and then we could dive into like post time skip stuff
Yeah, I
if
would
you
even
want.
say I would even say to start us off, let's start light and just talk about like the creative aspects of the show
Okay.
before we dive into, characters and story.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh I want to start off by saying the music is fucking phenomenal in this show.
Mm.
And like not even just the like licensed music, even though that is fucking enemy, dude. I play that shit so much. You can like oh man, Axe Riley, dude. Any chance I got, I would play enemy. But even like just the
The soundtrack
score,
is great. Yeah,
and
yeah, the score,
yes,
like the instrumental score, is just really fucking good. Which may be playing in the background here if I've done my job right, but who knows?
yeah.
It depends on if we can not get copyright struck for it. But yeah, no, the music's great, and I like they got a lot of like guest guest performances on this.
Mm.
Like every episode, it feels there's like a new fucking like licensed vocal track that they got going on. And it's not even, I wouldn't even say licensed, because they get like guest performers to write the song for the show, you know?
Right. Exactly. That's all I'm like. Can I even say license?
Yeah, so it's pretty, yeah, the music's great. And it's just, it's something that seems commonplace now, but I don't know, it's just, they took that extra mile of having like the score punctuate the action, you know, and it really fits alongside it. And that's something that everything should do, but, you know, when it's done well, it's really noticeable, or sometimes unnoticeable, because it just kind of like blends in
It's
and it all
so-
makes it so
yeah.
natural, you know?
Yeah, but I think if you have that ear for like, or if you just love film and shows and stuff, you kind of always grab. You like, nope, that works well. That's amazing. Like I feel like even when it is bare minimum, you still gonna pick it out. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, that's it for the music. What else? The animation, like watching the animation shorts for like League of Legends versus their like production value of this show
Mm-hmm.
is very different.
Right.
Yeah, but damn man, this show just looks so sexy.
There's, yeah, I don't, like, if we're kind of avoiding spoilers for now, I'll talk about some stuff involving the animation later, but the one thing that, like, stood out to me from episode 1, and I think I mentioned this to both you and Max while we were watching, is, the way they portray weight, and how everything in the show that's being animated has, like, an actual sense of weight to it, and the first time I really noticed it was in, like, the chase scene where they're getting away from, like, the building they blew up, and,
Yeah.
it's the first episode, by the way, like 10 minutes in. And like they're running away and they turn to go in this alley, and like each of them as they turn, they like slam into the wall and they keep running, and you feel like the dust particles go along the ground, and you feel like this big sound, like the sound effect is great. It's just like boom, and then just keep running. It's like,
And
and when you get into the fights, oh my god.
oh my god, it's everything just feels so meaty and like
Yeah, it reminds me of Daredevil in that it's just like you feel like these guys are getting the shit knocked out of them. It's really good.
Yeah.
For animation to do that, that's really, like, live action, you can, you know, maybe live
Yeah.
action's harder because you have to do like stunt work and you can't actually punch people. I don't know, but all I'm saying is that it's a very weighty, meaty show. And that helps it feel more grounded, you know, when you feel like you're actually watching real things.
Yeah, it also feels like things are at stake. There's risk because the weight, if that makes sense. Like you understand that if anything goes wrong, like those characters are feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yes.
just great. Yeah, that's I guess that's all for me in terms of like everything surrounding it.
I'll go on about the animation. I'll just talk about more stuff that doesn't involve spoiler stuff. The facial animations are amazing. Like they really get expression down in this show, where they just get like these little micro expressions on each of the characters that show so much their their emotions and their just like their thoughts and the things that they're not outwardly saying, but you could see it in their eyes and in like the small twitches, and it's like it's so fascinating watching. Like there's just some scenes, especially in the first 3 episodes, where like I just get so much emotion out of these characters, and I think that's so important because it's only 9 episodes and they need to try and develop all these characters, so they need to take every single opportunity they can to try and build them with the limited time they have. So every line of dialogue, every piece of animation, every little piece of fight choreography, and just every detail has to be, they have to squeeze the most out of they have to squeeze the most they can out of every piece of little time they have with these characters, and it's great. So good.
And it's 3D animated, right? Like,
oh yeah,
for the most part. I mean, they have 2D animation in there, but it's mostly
which
for
looks
like
good.
smoke
like
or
particle
like
effects and
particles.
smoke and,
But
yeah,
like Riley said,
great.
it looks sexy. It doesn't look jarring at all. Like it just all looks so natural and it fits so well.
Like it's not supposed to look like it's like, it does look like it's kind of like, you can tell like, oh well, that's added in as like a 2D effect afterwards, but it just looks so cool that you don't care.
Yeah. There was a couple times we were watching, and I'm like, "Hey, that's 2D," but it was like a joke. Yeah. I didn't think about the expression thing, but yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, like some of my favorites. One of my favorites is in I think it's the second episode where Milo's just being a little shit, and then Powder like shows off that she's actually good with a gun, and she just like drops it down and like obviously you can't see my face, but she does like the little like what the what like what were you saying kind of face, and it's just such a good little piece of animation. I love it. Yes.
To like stack onto everything else, color. The use of color in this show is it's just amazing. Everything just meshed so well. Like
the color, the lighting,
the purples, the oranges, the greens, they all pop out, but not enough for it to be like annoying. It just all just looks appealing, and I just love their use of color, especially when it comes from like a video game like League of Legends. Like they have to use color, I guess, to like like make the character stand out, and it translates well when it comes over to animation and actually like showing off the characters and stuff. It still keeps that distinction. You know what characters look like because of their colors on top of their expressions and the way they move, and it's just done beautifully.
Right.
More of us gushing.
Yeah, that's gonna be the whole fucking video, and I don't care because this show is great and it deserves it. Alright, so music, animation's great. Fights, we could talk more about the fights as we get into the story, I guess, because holy fuck. God damn. I'm thinking of Enemy now. We're gonna listen to that after this. Alright. So yeah, if there's any doubt as to... here's the thing, I don't know if I can recommend the show to everyone. Like, I feel like I want to, but it's like, obviously everyone has different opinions. Yeah, I mean, some people are just not gonna like fantasy animated TV shows. It's like, you'll know if you're not gonna be interested in this. Maybe not like it, but you won't be interested.
Anything to anyone. My girlfriend's not really into like animation and stuff. Like, she doesn't watch a lot of it, but she like watched it all the way through without me. I wasn't with her at all. She watched it all the way through, and she like loved it. So if that's any cancellation, like, I would say go check it out. Even if it's not interesting, just go check it out and just see how you feel about it.
Yeah, just watch the first 3 episodes. And if at the end of the 3rd episode you don't want to watch the next one, then
I don't see why not. But...
Well, yeah, but if you don't feel like you want to watch anymore, then you're probably like the rest of the show probably isn't gonna grab you, because like most of what the show is like kind of all about is encapsulated in the 3rd episode. Right. So that's all I have for non-spoiler stuff. Everything else I'm going to talk about is probably going to be intertwined with the writing and the story and the characters and all that nonsense. So you can move us on in any way you want now.
Let's go with characters. We can start with characters.
Okay.
Let's. Do you want to do it in order of? Yeah, because I'm thinking we should save who our favorite characters is, maybe later, and just go by order of like maybe like appearance, like people who kind of stick out. Obviously,
okay, yeah, just like the most prominent characters. Going down.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Let's start with Vi then.
Okay.
I'll let you go first unless you want me to.
No, go. You go first.
All right. Here's the problem is that like it's hard for me to talk about Vi without Caitlyn because I have like fucking crushes on both of them as characters. All right, but let me talk about Vi. Vi is just like the most badass character I've ever seen. No, not
voiced by Haley Steinfeld.
Her voice acting is amazing. And Haley Steinfeld is amazing. Go watch Hawkeye. She is just so badass, but like, it's so great how they give her. By the way, from this point on, I'm not even gonna worry about spoiling stuff anymore. So
yeah, no,
I'm not gonna spoil anything about the show I'm not gonna spoil anything about what might be in the future based on my pre-knowledge of League of Legends story, and if I do, I'll like, you know, like say something beforehand. Oops. But yeah, spoilers abound. Vi is so great because like it seems such a simple character in that she's just a tough badass who will punch her way through any problem, but
Punch
she has
girl.
like, huh?
Punch girl.
Yeah, she's a punch girl, but she has like, you know, vulnerabilities and insecurities, and that's such a simple character. But it's just like the thing this show does so well is it just like even those concepts that they keep really simple are just played to the 10th degree in how perfectly it's done. And it's just like every piece of dialogue she says is just so great, and the voice acting is so good. Ugh. You talk. I can't. Oh my god, I love this so much. It's hard for me to be specific.
That's the thing is like I don't have much to add on that. I just think she is a well written character. She's this
Yeah.
character that like you kind of like from the very beginning all the way to the end. Like I feel like she doesn't have anything that makes me go like really like I just hate this character or like this really sucks about this character. No, she's just really interesting. The things that she do make sense within her character because like it's written in a way that's like no, that's relatable. I understand why she does this. I understand why she says that, why she acts like that. And on top of her just being a badass, like Riley says, like she just so fucking cool. Like every time she's on screen, you're like, yes, I need more of this character. Give me more, feed me more of this character. Like
Yeah, she's like a really great paragon of like outward confidence, but like that's really there's a lot of bravado going on there. One of like the thing is like she's so well written, she's so awesome, and even then like with pretty much every character in the show, there are times in the show where I disagree with her, where I think she's doing like the wrong thing. I think one of the biggest points was like when her and Caitlyn go to the council to try and like, you know, fucking convince them to stop Silco and shit, and as soon as they're like, what's all this then? She like gives up immediately. I'm like, oh wow, she's just like giving up. But the thing is, I just understand it because just from like since childhood, she's just been ingrained with this idea of like these people are monsters who don't see me or anyone who I care about as human, and they killed my parents. Yeah. So it's like I can fully understand where she's coming from, and that's what makes the show so good because I like every character, and I've disagreed and agreed with every character at one point or another.
Yeah, I think what's cool is because the world they're living in has impacted everyone in a way like harshly. Is you know what I mean? Like everyone has like these very strong opinions about like the other like person or other side. You know what I'm saying? Because of the world that they're in, and I think Vi obviously is one of those characters who. Like you can definitely see the toll and the impact that the world has like pushed onto her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's almost like
it's not just her.
It's almost like the setting is a character of it in and of itself.
Yeah,
because it's so just intrinsically motivated, like intrinsically connected to the plot, and just like you notice, like the characters are always talking about like you know the plot as how it relates to Piltover and Zon in the underground, and. That's it's great because it just gives everyone a unifying like motivating factor in terms of how they all connect together in the plot.
Yeah.
Also, Vi's fights are just like they just make me feel things. Every time she punches someone,
they definitely make you feel something. I tell you that.
Oh my god. Just like, oh my god, okay. So, her fight in episode 3, where she puts on the gauntlets, and she just, like, murks 8 people in a row, like, full-grown adults, who are, like, twice her size. Like...
There's this guy who's, like, playing with, like, a knife in her face, and she just rocks his shit. Sits into the Stone Age.
Yeah. And then her, like, both of her fights with Savika... And the second one where she just gets knocked out and the Vander shows up to get her back on her feet. Oh my god!
Oh man.
Alright. So Vi's is amazing. If I think of more stuff to talk about, I'll come back. But someone that we might be able to be a bit more specific about is the other main character.
Which one, Powder or Jinx?
Both. Yes. Damn it, I should have said yes. Um, yeah, so Powder is just she's such a tragic character, because it's just like, it's a character
The
who...
fuck up is what she is.
Wow.
Sorry,
she's a
go ahead.
character who...
One might say she's
Oh, here we go.
Jinx.
Alright, cool, good.
Sorry,
I'm glad we did this.
What?
She's a character who, like, just needs fucking therapy. Like, that's pretty much the summation of everything that's wrong with her, is that if she was just in a normal world and she could get, like, the help she needs, that's, like, the biggest thing about her that I always think about. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't agree with anything you're doing. You're doing horrible things, but you just need help. Like, someone needs to help you. You are just not right in the head. And it's all based on your upbringing, and it's really tragic. I feel so bad for her.
Because it's so true.
I feel so fucking bad for her in every scene. Like, if you go back and watch the first 3 episodes, it's just like, she's a girl, she's an orphan, her parents were murdered by the police state that they live under, and now she lives with a bunch of other orphans, none of whom, except for her sister, respect her. They're always trashing on her. She's the youngest of the group. She has no way of, like, putting up with them or, like, defending herself from their verbal abuse. And even when they get into scraps with other gangs, she can't do anything but run away. None of her inventions work. Her one idea for wanting to help her friends just doesn't work. And she's a fuck-up. And they tell her that she's a fuck-up because of that. And the one time she thinks she might actually be able to help, and in a way that could save the person she's come to know as her new father, she's told, you're not ready, you can't help, you gotta stay home. And that's the point where she snaps, and she has an emotional breakdown. And after that, she goes and gets her entire family killed. And that inciting incident is just the rest of the show is just that weighing down on her, to the point where they use visual images of her dead friends as stone figures on her shoulders, literally the guilt weighing her down, and you can hear the whispers of their voices in her ears.
Which I might add is done very beautifully. Every scene of her breaking down is so sexy. I
don't want to like it because it's something that's like, this is not okay. This is something that is just like, I shouldn't enjoy looking at this, but it's so beautiful. It's so dark and horrible, but it's beautiful. Oh my god, it's just this poor child. Oh my god,
man. Also, I want to say, is, I believe, Ella Perno, right? That's who.
Yes.
Voiced.
Yes.
Give it up for her too, because she did a really amazing job as Jinx. I want to say, like, at times it's very Harley Quinn-esque. I brought that up a couple times where like she says things, or like her demeanor is very like Harley Quinn-esque, especially from like I think it's the Batman original series. Is
Batman
that the
animated?
one where... Yeah, the animated series, like
appearance?
is that the one with
like the Mr. J?
Yeah, Mr. J. Okay, yeah. It's very kind of like that, but not always. She's definitely her own character. She definitely does her own things, but there's hints of that there, which kind of, for me personally, is just a personal thing that makes me like her even more. And yeah, she's a tragic character in every way. She also just fucks up, dude, a lot. She doesn't really like not fuck up until the end, and even still, or not the end, but like when she grows up. But even still, the things she's doing is the opposite of what everyone else wants or needs. Like, so
yeah, I mean, she's basically just lashing out at a world that, like, not only Like, Chris, it's all in the fucking opening. The lyrics of Enemy play out her story arc perfectly. But literally, she's just like, once the world turns, it hates her. So the world, she's basically just lashing out at a world that she feels that it turned her back on her, and she was left with just nothing but other people who feel the same way. And it just so happens that those people have very violent means for wanting to excise their frustrations against the world. Frustrations that are completely understandable.
See, the thing is, and I think what also makes her a compelling character is, even with all that going on, she still ultimately loves her sister. Like, that never changed. And I think that's really amazing to me. Like, that's really cool, really complex to me, because it's like, even when the world is fucking batshit insane and has this world, like, everyone turns their back on you, you still find the way to love your sister. But is muddy because, like, she also is dealing with the fact of, well, maybe she doesn't really love me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. It's just,
I don't know. Here's the thing. The final episode really fucked me up because I don't even know if she, I don't think she actually loves Vi as she is. I think she just, has this
desperate idea.
She just has this desperate need for the idea of having this connection again. Like, having this, this connection to her childhood again, because...
Oh, okay. You
literally,
right now.
If you think about it, she literally put her sister in a chair and told her, I want you to shoot this woman, and then we can be sisters again, and things can be the way they were. Even though, lady, that's not how that works. You can't just force your sister to murder someone who they very clearly care about, and then just say, alright, things are back to normal. We're good. So I don't think I think she very much believes that, her sisters just give, alright, cool, I'm gonna be Jinx's sister now.
Okay.
I just think it's horrific. It's horrifying, the things that they do with this character. It's very uncomfortable.
But in a very comfortable way, because I love this show and I love that character, and I like Vi also, and I think they play off each other really well when they are together, at least, because there's a lot in the show where they're not. At least, what, 3 episodes that they're not together?
Yeah, roundabout.
Yeah.
Chris,
and there's what, 9
yeah,
episodes?
there's 9 episodes in total.
Yeah.
There's literally a scene where she's on the brink of death, and she's getting fixed up by a mad chemist who's injecting drugs into her body that are gonna make her more crazy and evil, but are gonna keep her alive. And she's literally envisioning this lunatic as her sister and her new girlfriend. As, devil creatures who are trying to kill her and get her out of the way. This show is so fucked up, dude.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I have nothing to comment on that. I just feel the need to, parse that out for you. Oh my god, yeah, so she's portrayed wonderfully, and she's a very well-written character.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, alright. Vander is awesome. Vander's also a badass. Vander is the reason that Vi is a badass. He's the prime badass. And I also just the best thing about Vander to me is that he seems in the first 3 episodes, he seems just the perfect paragon of virtue and light. He is caring for these orphans. He's trying to avoid violence and keep his people safe. He is just the quintessential picture of a good guy, to the point where instead of taking vengeance against Silco in the end, he saves his daughter and dies. Here's the thing. post time skip, I don't know if Vander was really right. That's the biggest thing for me. I don't know if Vander was right in how he dealt with the whole Piltover Zahn thing.
With basically saying like, you don't come out here and mess with our people. We don't.
Well,
mess
his
with your
main,
people.
well, yeah, his main thing was like keep your heads down and like just like we'll just keep our heads down and we'll stay safe. I don't think like, and that's the thing. I don't think Silco was right either the way he was going about it. But I think like when Vi confronted him and was like, these people up there, they see us as rats. They're just gonna keep coming down here and hurting and killing us until we do something about it. And like the more I watch the show, the more I'm like, yeah, I mean, she's kind of right. This fucking system is just built on fucking corruption and greed and nothing good that can ever come for these people down here. And that was,
but Vander saw it as like he created Silco. Basically, I mean, practically he created that off of being violent. Like,
right, yeah.
So,
but I think I think he got that fucked him up so much that he went too far in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Like he didn't want to like create like peace through violence, so he decided to try and create peace through submission after that. Even if that wasn't right for his people, because they were still suffering for years. So that's just so fascinating. Like, and I don't even know if that was intentional. I think that's just like what I got out of the show. Other people might not agree,
Right.
It's great. But yeah, Vander is a badass, and I still love him. And I think
he's best dad.
No, yeah, well, yeah, okay. I think in the show he's probably best. I'll have to think about it later. Max makes the joke that Silco is best dad, but I'm like, we can talk about that later.
Silco is best dad. He got Powder some presents.
She made him a fucking mug.
Some toys. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to talk about this. This is kind of spoilery. Do you care? All right, do you care about potential spoilers?
Okay, so we're saying for the future.
Yeah, for like future seasons.
I don't know. Is it gonna be like a major spoiler, or is it like a small, like little thing you notice?
It's probably like decently major.
All right, say that.
Okay. Just know that yes, I know. If anybody who is aware of the show and the discussions going on in the background about certain things that may happen in the future, yes, I know, yes, I noticed the details, and yes, I agree, it's probably going to happen. Alright, who's the next character?
Oh boy. Jace.
Alright, Jace is cool. Jace is like, I think out of the main characters, he's like the most simple, but
damn, fuck.
What?
I was gonna say that. I was thinking out of main characters, he's like the most like almost I would say predictable in a sense. Like I think everything he's doing or have done, I'm like, makes sense. Like I gotta guess that from episode like 3 or 5.
I guess. I still find him really interesting. Like the further the show goes on, the more I enjoy the plot lines going on around him. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard to go from these characters to Jace because it's just like you said, it is decently predictable. There's no like big twists or turns with his story. It's really just a matter of like, his ascension from nothing really, the verge of death, to where he is now, and how he kind of wanted to come up to change things and make this technology for the better, and then it just kind of became more of what was already wrong. And I get what they're going for, and I'm just I'm excited to see what they do with him next. I like his stuff with Mel and Victor. I think the best parts about Victor is when he's playing off the other characters and his ideals are kind of like clashing with... Yeah, like when his ideals clash with Victor's and Mel's and Heimerdinger and the rest of the council and Vi.
That's fair.
I think that's when
fair.
you get the most interesting things out of Jace.
For me, he's like okay. I would say out of the main cast, for me, he's probably like the lowest of the most interesting. Um, and that's not a knock at him. Like Bradley said, it's just very baseline for me. It's not bad at all. It's just not like I don't watch this show to see Jason's story. But even though I understand that his story obviously feeds into the overarching story, it's just that I don't come here for Jace. It's just okay.
Right.
I don't have anything to add for that.
Right. Yeah, with him, it's probably better to just talk about it as like we talk more about story and stuff. If things come up that way. All right, let me pick the next one, and you can start. Let me see. Let's talk about. Let's see. I don't want to talk about him yet. We're gonna save that for later. Let's talk about. I want to move away from the council too. What's a good underground character?
Oh fuck!
Well, I want to kind of go back and forth.
You mean the council as in like what do you mean as the council? Like, are you seeing the council as like a separate entity, or we mean like the people in the council, such as Mel or Victor, or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about Caitlyn. You can go first.
Caitlyn. Okay. Caitlyn was cool. She's one of those characters I wasn't expecting much from. But by the end, I was like, man, this character she's cool. I enjoy her interactions with both Jace and Vi. I think her and Vi, like at the very beginning, like when she first gets Vi out of the prison, like all that stuff is really interesting to me. I just like love their talking, their banter back and forth from each other. And by the end, I'm like, yeah, these characters definitely have formed a bond together. And it's very believable. I also understand her wanting to, well, not wanting to, but her talk with Vi has made her see a different side of like the underground and
yes.
What is it? What's the like the bottom of the slums called? What is that called?
The lanes.
The lanes. Yeah. Okay.
It's like
so
the area
basically,
Vander was kind of not ruling over, but that's the place where Silka rules over. Sure. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's like I think she's cool because she's this person from the upside who got this chance to see what the lanes are like, see what the slums is like, whereas most people up there don't. So they don't understand. So they just have this what's the word I'm looking for? Like this idea of basically like the slums are the slums. There'll always be the slums. Those people are terrible down there, et cetera. Whereas she is like, she actually gets to see it. She gets to feel it and understand these people are only like this because of like the world that they were put in. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I think that's really cool for her character arc. And she's like, okay, well, now I want to do like the right thing, or if I don't know what the right thing is, I really want to figure out what it is, like what is going to be the right thing. Yeah, and she's just very interesting. I really like her. I really like how she plays off of characters and her little arc. So, yeah, nothing for Caitlyn for me. What do you want to say?
Caitlyn is best girl, and she's got a big gun. That's what I'll say. No,
so does Powder. What?
Caitlyn's gun is bigger. Fuck you.
No, it's not.
Caitlyn's like one of my favorite League of Legends characters, and I think she's like fine in this show. And I don't want to say that in a negative way. I'm just saying like compared to Vi and Powder, slash Jinx, and other characters who we have yet to mention, she's sort of in the middle of the pack for me, which is fine.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
that's fair.
The characters, I should say now, the characters in this show versus their League of Legends counterparts are insanely different.
Vastly different. Oh my god.
Just if you've watched the show and you don't know much about League of Legends, go watch like Vi's quote video and come back. My god.
It will low key maybe not make you not like Vi. Because it made me go ew. this is what they did with that character in that game. But yeah.
No, what you should be saying is, this is what they did with that character in this show.
You're right. Wow.
All right. Man. All right. There's like a bunch of minor characters that I could go through really quick, like Rat Boy, as Max calls him.
Yeah.
Milo. He's cool. I like Clagger.
Yuri Lowenthal.
I really like Clagger.
Oh my gosh, Clagger is fucking. If he would have survived,
he's just like such a badass, and he fucking broke through a brick wall.
Vander raised that man. You can tell he raised that.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is like when they get back and Vander has to go talk to Benzo about like what's going on topside. He's like, Clagger, you come with me, and he just takes him with him just as like backup, I guess. Like he just brings him with because he trusts him. It's like so cool. Too bad he died. He died a pretty shit death.
Oh my god, dude. That's another thing we kind of breezed over, but those guys get it hard.
Yeah.
Everyone gets it so hard.
I want to have an entire section of this pod talking about episode 3, so I don't want to go too far into detail about that. So let's see. There's a bunch of people on the council that I'm not going to mention, except Mel. Mel's really cool. The further the show go on, the more I really liked her.
Damn. Hold on, I want to spend a little bit more time on Mel because I want to start off by saying if you are a person of color or if you're or if you're black, black people look really good in this show. They do, as I am. They look really good in this show. They done like the black hair, their skin. Black people just look good. So shout out to the animators and everyone behind that because they really know what the fuck they were doing. All right, let's go to Mel because she is the black princess of this show, Black Queen, my beautiful Black Queen. She is a character that at the beginning I was like, this is okay. I don't really like what they're doing her. Like she's not doing much. She just kind of seems like she's doing something very sneaky, but you don't really understand.
Yeah.
And it's not really until I would say late. I feel like they almost take too long to get to her, and I kind of wish they would have done it a little bit sooner. That's my one gripe I think with the show is I just wish they would have hit that story beat for her a little bit sooner. But when it does kick up for her, I'm like, yo, I'm really interested to see where this is gonna go. Now they got me because her mom shows up and you find out her mom is like this fucking warlord and she doesn't want to be like that. And like, this is all fucking interesting. It just takes too long to get to that. But that could be something that they're going to play on in the second season, especially with how this season ended. So I'm obviously looking forward to that. But
yeah, that's what I was going to say. And that's probably the reason why they didn't put too much focus on her in the like first half of the show is that they're going to be focusing on her more in the second season, assuming she, is around in the second season, which I think she definitely will be. Yeah, she comes from Noxus, which is just like... Noxus is a lot like Nilfgaard in The Witcher. They're just like, everyone hates them. They are bloodthirsty warlords, and the place they come from is just black and red. Those are the two colors of that place. But yeah, she's really fucking cool. And I think she is what brought the most interesting stuff out of Jace's character for me. Is all the times they were on screen together.
Yeah, her and Victor. I would give Victor too because there's some stuff there I really like with Victor and Jace. But yeah, definitely, that's the most interesting part is Mel bringing it out of Jace. And sort of vice versa too, but. Still, I was still like, it was like her being sneaky. I was like, what is going on here? What are you doing with this character?
We both agree, like, we don't trust her. I don't know what the fuck she's up to. We don't fucking trust her.
There was most of the times I would go, hey, Riley, do you trust Victor? Hey, Riley, do you trust Mel? What do you think she's up to?
Yep. Alright, what about Marcus? Good old Marcus.
Marcus?
Yeah, the sheriff in the time skip.
Oh! He's... That guy is a guy who's like... damn. There's like one specific person I'm like, that I have in my mind that's in another media, like another show or something. I can't think about who it is. But yeah, he's just like a bottom feeder. And he's like trying to play both. He's kind of like a Roman Torchwick, but without like being too evil.
Right.
Yeah. And by the end, I did kind of feel bad for him though.
I mean, yeah,
just
I think
because
he's just in a desperate situation. Like,
yeah.
he's just. I think one of the things is that Grayson was fucking killed, and so he's just being pushed into this like position of power unexpectedly, and now he just has to deal with the pressures of Piltover and Zahn, and he doesn't really know what to do about it, and he's like in the pocket of a brutal dictator who has his child on a hook, you know. Yeah, I felt bad for him, but I was also like, dude, you know, you reap what you sow in the end.
Yeah, he put himself in that position, so it's like hard for me to go really like damn. But by the end, I was like, okay, man, this dude, he just wrong place, wrong time. Shouldn't have been here. But hey, you made those choices, so you gotta deal with them.
Oh boy, all right. Echo. Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, come on now, get it up for my other black black star.
Echo was, you know, he was cool in the pre-time skip. He's just like, you know, this chill guy who was reliable. And then he showed back up post-time skip, and he was, you know, he was kind of like the most like I think he's probably I think he's probably the one character who I'm like, I've never disagreed with him. I think he's always been the one who's like, yep, he's in the right. Everything he's doing, like, he doesn't do a lot wrong.
He shows he indirectly, like, you don't know it's him when he shows up.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good guess, but I wasn't completely sure if it was him. But when he does, like, his movement and stuff, like, the stuff they do with that character is really fucking cool. Like, he's another one of those characters where I just love to see him on screen. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, he's good enough, and then episode 8? It might be 8. I think... It's 7. It's 7. It's 7. Because 8 has... Yeah, because 8 is, like, Jinx getting like healed and shit, and then she shows up at the end of that episode in Caitlyn's house, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's episode 7, and that's where Echo just goes full fucking sicko mode, and his fight with Jinx is like the best fight in the series, in my opinion. It's so fucking When I saw it, I actually kind of got angry at how cool it was. I was like, what? Like, where the fuck are you getting off, you fucking show? Like, how fucking dare you be this cool? It's so good. And especially as someone who, like, knows his kit from the game, when I saw him just, like, like, use his fucking rewind power. Oh my god, it was so fucking cool.
Man, even before that, when him and all his goons are fighting, like, and they're fighting, like, Powder and Vi, or Jinx and Vi and all of them, like, that scene is so cool. There's a scene where he, like, comes down with, like, or maybe it's his, like, lackey or whatever, and they come down with, like, the hammer, and, like, fucking Jinx, like, twitches, and she just dodges it, like, without even looking. So fucking cool. This show is so fucking cool when it comes to action, dude. Like, dude. Anyway, sorry, yeah. Echo's really cool, and I did really like, I didn't know much about his, like, time mechanic and stuff from the games, but what they did with it and how they utilized it in the show was really dope.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does with Heimerdinger next season, because that's like the fucking change we need right there. Those are the guys who could actually have a good chance of bringing about the change that these cities need, you know?
Yep, makes sense, because his name is Echo, and I like Echo and Lost also. He was the guy who's bringing about change.
hello, Heimerdinger.
I'm building a church.
What'd you think about Heimerdinger in the end?
In the end, he was cool. He was kind of fucking annoying, though. Like, getting to this point, I was like, dude, I'm so tired of Heimerdinger being on the fucking screen. Like,
you still like Yordles, do you?
He's like, Jason, that's not it. don't do that. Don't do this. We must not do this. I live for 1,000 years.
I am over 300 years old, and I have seen the rise and fall of empires, and I've seen this all before, my boy. It's like
He's like a very good knowing Star Wars NPC.
Okay, yeah.
I just like, oh my god.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like Yordles are like there's so many fucking Yordle characters in League, and I think people who played it are kind of used to that at this point because there's just so many of them. But in this show, it's like almost everyone in the main cast is a human, and then you just have this weird fucking guy rolling around, and he kind of takes you out of it for a bit if you're not used to kind of the world and characters that we're dealing with.
Now, do all of them live to be very old?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not knowledgeable enough to know, really.
You're not knowledgeable in the world of Yordles.
I know Timo. I know Timo's awesome. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I love how much emotion they got out of his facial expressions. Like when he got voted off the council, I was like, no, he looks like he's gonna cry.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
All right. Back down underground. Yeah.
Smaller characters. What about Savika?
I was just about to say her. Yeah, she was surprisingly formidable. That's what I'll say. Like,
yeah, she's funny too.
She's funny. She lost every fight she was in, but I don't think I ever actually lost respect for her because she always put up a fucking fight.
Also, Savika was about that smoke. If you wanted to pull up to her, she's like, "Let's go, let's do it." So I was always like, "Yeah." She wasn't like a bitch at all. She was like, "Yo, I'm about it. Let's do this."
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was cool.
I like her.
Like, it doesn't even matter if she was losing. She was always talking shit. Like, bro, like you're still a nobody. Go sit down somewhere.
What about the Chem Barons who they introduced? Like the fucking guy with the fucking brass jaw who had the lighter.
The dude that looks like Crypto from Apex. The like Asian guy.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
They were cool. I think I might have wanted to see more of them. Maybe at the beginning also, or as soon as the time skip happened. Maybe saw them at the beginning. They show up a little bit later.
Yeah, I wonder if they have more planned for them. Like if that was a thing they were gonna do, but they didn't have time.
Yeah, but once again, it's one of those things though. Like it doesn't feel jarring. It feel like it makes sense. But yeah, I would have liked to see more of them. That whole scene with them coming to fucking Silco was like, yo, bro.
Yo, dude.
We're voting you out.
No, dude. When Savika killed him and the other one, the lady was just like shuddering on the ground. Silka just looked at her. He's like, you know, I would have killed your son for this. But I suppose we're already ahead on that account. And I'm just like, holy fuck, that's the scariest thing I've ever heard.
Dude.
Oh my god. Alright, I'm trying to think of other, small characters. We haven't talked about Victor yet, but if we're talking about small characters...
let's talk about the council as a whole. Everyone besides, the main council members.
I mean, they were all just kind of, they always... were just kind of toadies together. They seem like they don't really, they're all just kind of blind to the big picture. They're only really out for themselves.
I hope they might be all dead.
They're all dead. I think the only ones that are going to survive are Jace and Mel, honestly.
You think so? I think the robot guy would survive.
I guess, but what would they do with him?
I don't know. They can write him in.
Maybe Caitlyn's mom, but her death might just be that might be to solidify it. Maybe she starts to hate the underground more, and that puts her in conflict with Vi. I don't know.
I think she would just maybe hate Jinx.
She wants to kill Jinx, and that brings her into conflict because Vi doesn't want her to kill her. That might make sense, but I don't know. I don't want to use game stuff to guess because they've taken this show is so much different from the game, so I don't really think it's fair to do that. There's not much to talk about with Singed, the alchemist guy. He didn't really have too much. He's just he's obsessed with his work, and that's the only thing that really matters to him. They did mention I had a daughter too once.
Yeah,
but maybe we'll get more of him. Maybe not. I don't really know.
That's
I
it,
think
right?
the only characters left that we
Oh,
haven't talked about is Victor.
oh no. Mel's mom. I mean, we
Yeah,
kind of discussed her a little bit with
yeah.
Mel, but
It's hard to say. She was in 2 episodes, but yeah, she just seems like I will actually say she wasn't just like a fucking dick who Tater. Who
oh yeah.
she
No.
like towards the end she actually did like I felt like she does. It's hard to
She
say.
she
Here's the thing. It's hard to say with her because I do want to feel like she does care about her daughter, but at the same time, her son just died, and I feel like she's just like coming here maybe to bring her home so she can like be the new heir or something, or heiress, I should say. And
yeah.
I don't really know. I honestly can't tell with her.
She also had that whole thing of like saying like the reason why I was like kicking you away is because you were making me soft.
Yeah, I love that
Um,
scene.
Yeah, I like that scene too. That's why I like I said, this is still stuff they're probably gonna play a lot more heavy into in the second season, but it was enough for me to go, oh, okay, this is cool. I like where this is going. Also, she's a very imposing woman. That woman is scary
She
looking,
is
and
big. She's a
she
big
sliced the head off a
woman.
fucking child. I just want to say, get ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Like
Yeah.
that shit is scary. Dude.
They make him big in Noxus.
Yeah. They're like Texas. Everything's big. Yeah.
Oh man. I'm just gonna run through my head really quick to see if there's anyone else. Let's just talk about Victor first, because I don't know why we're avoiding him so much. He's just tragic. But I feel for him, and I want him to do well. And the thing is, like, when he starts doing like all the sacrificial black magic stuff, I'm like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I'm like, he is motivated by death. And as I've always said, I say it in the last one when we talked about Iron Man. If you can do one thing to make me empathize with a character, it's have a character whose main motivating factor is a fear of dying. That's what you can do, and that's what they did with Victor. And I'm just like, dude, like, this isn't a good idea, but if you don't, you're gonna die, so fucking have at it, dude. Have at it, my guy.
Yeah, but then he fucking erased Science Girl, and I'm
Oh,
like,
jeez,
whoa,
yeah, I mean,
bro, that
he
was
obviously didn't
fucking
mean
dark.
to, but yeah, I mean, that's obviously gonna win. I mean, he's gonna kill himself because of it. One of my biggest things, oh my god, I love when he like fixes his leg, because that was the first thing he wanted to like fix his leg first, and he has the scene like in the harbor where he's like running, and he sees like running faster than the boats, because that like harkens back to his flashback where he couldn't keep up with his own little toy boat in the river, right? It's like it makes me feel so happy for him, but also I'm just like, I know where this is going. This is not gonna be a fun time.
Now, why didn't he go back to it?
Why
did he?
Because he
like,
was still dying from like the lung stuff, right? Because of all the gases he
okay.
grew up with. I think that was it. He still needed to like fix himself fully.
Okay.
That's my interpretation. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't. So other than that, I think we've gotten every character other than the last one, who we're obviously going to talk about.
The best character.
Let me just think.
Arguably.
Let me just think. We got Jason. Yeah, I think we got everyone. If we think about anyone else, we'll come back. All right. Silco is the best character in the entire show.
Fucking amazing.
I will fight everyone on that. Silco is the best written and most compelling character in this entire goddamn show.
I was gonna give it a Clagger, but you know, we can settle out of court for Silco.
Is it my dog outside? Whatever. Yeah, he is just so compelling, and episode like he's introduced in the first 2 episodes as just a fucking generic ass nothing bad guy who is just like, I'm evil and megalomaniacal, so I will take over everything.
Evil eye too.
I have one evil eye, and I run an underground gang. But dude, my guy, episode 3 rolls around, and again, we're going to talk about episode 3 later, but episode 3 rolls around, and he becomes so goddamn compelling in that episode. He gets a backstory, he gets a connection with Vander, he gets this great juxtaposition with them where he is everything that Vander isn't, everything that Vander can't be, everything he turned away from, and he just took that extra step, you know. He had his one bad day, You know, he is so goddamn good, and everything is brought to a head. I'm gonna talk about it later. Never mind. That's episode 3. We'll talk about it later. Post time skip. He's still amazing. He is. Every time he threatens someone, I'm like, "Yo, you're a bad dude," but that was so cool. His relationship with Jinx is just so fascinating because it's like, it's weirdly like, it's endearing but also really creepy at the same time. It's like, one thing I thought about is like, those two are like, they're so perfect. They're the exact people that the other one needs, like the exact person that the other one needs for each other. But they're also so destructive for each other. Like, and this is stuff I'm gonna talk about later. But like, Jinx needs a fucking father figure. She needs a family and someone who will never abandon her and never leave her and never question her usefulness. And Silco just needs someone who he feels has shared in his own experiences that brought him to this moment. He needs someone who he feels like can share in his ambition and everything that he's worked his entire life to get to. And he just feels this camaraderie with her because he knows that she has just gone through everything that he has. It's so goddamn good. So good. And I love how he never betrays her for his ambition. His entire character is molded around him wanting to enact his plan. He wants to be the ruler of this free civilization out from under the heel of Piltover. That's everything he's worked for his entire life. And yet he said, I would let it all burn before I give them to you, or give you to them. And that just solidified for me. I'm like, yo, this guy, like, out of every character, this guy has the most conviction, and he is the most dead set on who he is as a person.
Now, why? I know you kind of went over it a bit, but why do you think he feels that way about Jinx? Like, so much about.
I think
like
it's
this.
just, he felt the betrayal of Vander. He saw Vander as a brother to him. He saw him as the one person who, like, felt the way he did about the oppression that their people were put under, and he was the one person who could help him, like, you know, overthrow that government and become a free nation. And what did that come to? Vander fucking tried to murder him. He tried to drown him, and it left him in, like you mentioned, like, it just left him in a state where he wanted to die. He was in a state between death and then when he came out, all he felt was like that loss and betrayal. And now he's found this girl who has also been abandoned by her family. And
almost like he's looking at himself. Basically.
Yeah, it's that is exactly that. It's like it's the first time where he's seen himself in someone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone else who he works with, he obviously just sees them as like pawns and like pieces to use for his own gain. But this is the first time he's actually found someone where it's like, all right, this is fucking me. You're me made small, you know, to quote Martin. Or you're me writ small, I guess. And it's oh man, Chris. I find him so compelling, even when he does some of the worst things. When he threatens a child, when he says he would have killed a child if he wasn't already dead, when he has people killed, when he does acts of terrorism. I disagree with him every step of the way, and I think he should be stopped. But I will never not be like, I get it, dude. I know where you're coming from. Because not only does he have everything I said up to this point, but he also has, like, the moral ground, right? Of, we have been oppressed and killed, murdered, beaten, robbed for generations. And now I want to fucking put that to an end. I want to make us a free, with me at the top, you know, but I want to make us a free nation where we don't have to suffer anymore.
Right.
And that is completely understandable. It doesn't justify his actions. I don't think. I could see people who actually do think that, like, using violence and extortion is, like, necessary when you're trying to, you know, do these things. Yeah, I mean, I could see people's argument towards that. I don't think he's justifiable, but I think he's understandable, and that's what makes characters so interesting for me. Those are the best characters, where you don't agree with them, but you understand them, and that's exactly what Silco is.
Yeah, no,
Here, you talk.
Yeah.
You talk for.
Fuck, what do I talk about?
Well, just talk for like 10 seconds.
You fucking just like got everything, but I mean, he's just really compelling. The whole time I was sitting there watching him and just going like, I am very in awe with this character. Every line he says is both like moving in a way, but also scary.
Right.
Like, yeah, I was not afraid. I was surprised that you didn't talk about him being at the statue of Vander.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
smoke.
dude.
Yes, dude. That is literally my favorite scene of Silco. It's just him, like, after everything, he's just sitting at the fountain of Vander.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, this is what we've done, brother.
It's
you know what I mean? Type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying, like, everything that we worked for once upon a time, it's all right here. It's all right in my hand, but I have to give up the thing that I cherish most in this world to claim it. You know? And then he's like, I think I finally understand how you felt when you betrayed me.
Yeah, it's...
And then he pours one out for his brother. It's so good. And that, I mean, it harkens back to what he said in episode 3. It's like, I hated you for so long, but I think, like, I've finally come to realize, like, I respect you for what you did. You had a conviction and you acted on it.
And I feel like that's the dividing line between Silco and Powder or Jinx, because Silco doesn't necessarily have this idea of Vander. He does genuinely feel like that's his brother. That's who he knew. And even if they had their disagreements and he betrayed him, it's still his brother. Whereas Jinx, like you said, she fell in love with this idea of Vi, but not really. She's just longing for it, but she doesn't really understand what that is or what that means. She's just kind of like, I kind of want this. I think that's what I wanted because this is how it was prior to me fucking snapping. So, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, it was like the last time. Yeah, it was like Jinx is like the last time she felt like she had a quiet, because ever since then it's just the voices of her victims. The voices of her former brothers. Yeah, I was so blown away with Silco because I think another part of it is just he was so easy to just be like, all right, like this character, what are they gonna do with him? He's just like a baddie, But no, I get it, man. I totally get it, man. His last scene, his last scene where he just tells Jinx, like, I would have let them all burn before I gave you up. Man, that was just the perfect culmination of his character. And then he tells her that she is perfect, which is like the best thing he could have told her in terms of like those two as a relationship. But that's the worst thing he could have told her if she ever wants to have hope of being like a functioning, non-hyper-violent criminal ever again. Because he told her everything you've done, all the terrible things you've done up to this point, that's who you are, and you have nothing to apologize over. And that's exactly what she's always wanted to hear, is that she isn't a fuck-up, and that she doesn't make mistakes. And that's what he told her.
Right.
But, man, she makes mistakes. She's a fuck-up. She does bad things.
I mean,
I've watched the show 3 times, by the way.
I've watched it once. I typically do that.
Yeah.
I typically watch things once.
Yep. Let me see if I have any notes. I have a lot of notes, but I just haven't been looking at. Yeah, I just went through and wrote some notes down. So if you want, you can talk more about what do you want to talk about? And while I read my notes and
Well,
find something.
I figured you wanted to hop into episode 3. I mean, we are on an hour and 13 minutes so far, so.
Alright, I could talk about episode 3 then. Let me actually go to my notes on episode 3 just to see if there's anything. Alright, well, the first thing I wrote down is, this is still the best episode in the series. I don't care what you say, I'm right. Episode 3 is like, it's really frightening how well written it is, and how on the 3rd episode of this show, this brand new show, if you're going in with not knowing anything about these characters, you're going in, this is your 3rd episode, and this is so tightly written, the character motivations are so apparent, you feel for everyone, you understand everyone, you feel the tension and the stakes and the danger rising, and, dude, when that fucking monkey bomb goes off, that shit is, like, so amazing. That's one of the most amazing pieces of filmmaking I've ever seen. The music building up to it, like the magical, like wondrous, like hymn, like the hymnal chanting that's going on, and that juxtaposed with like the monster banging down the steel door, and Vi's just like beaten and bloodied, and she's just like the last fucking stand between her and her family, and Vander is just trying to get his way out, and Milo's having trouble with the locks, and Clegg is just beating the fucking wall down, and Silka's just watching from afar, not saying anything.
But the thing is they're there. That I think that's why it's so great, is because you're like, for me, I'm thinking, oh, okay, shit, like they're almost out.
Yeah.
And then you see the thing with Jinx, you see the bomb, and you're like, okay, but they're almost out, so what is the purpose of this? You know what I mean? You're almost like, it's like, okay, so maybe this is still going to help them. Maybe it's going to push them out, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's going to force them to be out, so that's even greater. But then, as it's going off, you're realizing, no, this literally has fucked everything for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, all the characters that you're, kind of siding with at this point. Like,
it's tying back to the first episode, the very first like set of scenes. You see what one of those bombs can do. One of them took down a building, and then she dumps like 5 of them into that thing. And, that if you remember that, then that thing is gonna go big, right? And so It keeps cutting between these scenes. It's cutting back to the monkey clap, 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 slam, slam, slam. And it's just cutting back and forth. The music's rising. Everything's going crazy. And then it stops, and all the music stops. All the sound stops. And the monster looks down at it, and it's just stopping. It's like, oh, fuck, no, it didn't work. Boom! It just explodes, and you see, oh my god, the way they show the explosion from like 6 different perspectives, and every time they re-show it, it shows the clap again, and it's like that spark and the explosion, and it's like, oh my god.
Like, that little, like, face that the monkey has, too, like, that is, like, evil and, like, destructive.
This is the devil's work in this world. And you see Powder's launched out, and she's just like, it's like a magical experience where she can't even comprehend what's happening. It's just this beautiful light show. And then it's like, fucking, the monster's just like, rah! And Silka's like, what the fuck? And then inside, the door gets blown down, and then Milo gets a fucking iron pole through the shoulder, and he's crushed.
This feeds back into that whole, the weight talk we talked about. You feel every explosion that's happening right now. Every clap of the monkey, you're feeling it. You understand that, like, things are not going well for anyone. Like, things are destroying around people. Like, oh man, and when the debris clears...
Oh my god, no, but it also shows it from Marcus's perspective, too, because he's, like, throwing away something at the dock, and he sees the fucking smoke on him. So not only is that just another opportunity to see the explosion again, and see just the scale of how big it is, it also sets up for the end when he comes in to get Vi out of there. It's so fucking amazing, dude. Oh my god. It's a fucking spectacle. It's so beautiful and horrifying at the same time.
Damn it, I was gonna say, but also horrifying.
You're watching children get just They get murked, dude. Oh
Just
my
instant
god.
pain. And oh man, and it's almost like the punctuate because like the scene is very long. It's a very long scene, obviously, because it is like Riley said, like a finale. It's like a season finale. But it's almost like punctuated when like Powder comes in and she's like, "I did it!" Like, oh my, it's so heart wrenching. Like that scene literally like physically hurt me to watch. Like her just going, "I did it!" Like, Vi, I did it, and Vi's like, "This was you. Like you fucked up everything. You killed all of us for like just to be like
just to
accepted."
just to feel like you were useful.
Yeah, like,
It's
horrible.
Man. It's such a horrible thing. It's so hard to watch. He literally fucking, like, slaps the shit out of her. And I'm like, oh my god. Oh, no. No. This is not good. This is awful. Let me see. Hang on. Also, we get Vander going sicko mode. He, like, picks up his gauntlets, and I love the part where he's walking out, and he kind of swings his arm at one point, like, just swings his arm at his side, just, like, get it kind of wound up and ready, and then he puts his fists up ready to fight. It's just such a tiny detail. It reminds me a lot of Mission Impossible, where Henry Cavill, like, he, like, cocks his fists, you know? Have you seen that?
No.
I'll show it to you later, but go look up Henry Cavill Mission Impossible fifth cock, because he literally cocks him like a shotgun. Anyway, so yeah, he goes sicko mode, he's like wrecking shit, and then he goes down, but he comes back for more because he gets the shimmer, and then he dies, and then the whole volume powder thing. I think I had mentioned this too while we were watching the show, but one of my favorite things is how, like, one of the first piece of dialogue, one of the first things you hear in the show is Vi telling Powder, "You can do this, you're ready."
Right.
And then in the third episode, when they're all heading out to go save Vander, she's like, "No, you have to stay," and they get into a back and forth, and it's like, "You can't go, it's too dangerous," and then she finally just comes out and says, like, "You're not ready for this," and that's the moment where, like, her mind just broke. And
rightfully so.
Oh my god, it's just so fucking clever. It's oh my god, dude, this is episode fucking 3. Let me finish first though. Vi like just storms away and she just like collapses. She just can't take it anymore. Everything is just too overwhelming. Her entire life is over pretty much. Like, what the fuck is she gonna do now, you know? Even if she can get away, like, she's just gonna get hunted down and murdered probably. Just everything's gone. Her sister's just dead to her, you know. It's so emotionally just intense. You see Powder just on the ground in tears. She just can't handle anything. And
but
then
Silco
and his fucking his family show up. And he fucking comes up, he draws his knife, and he says, "Where's your family, little girl?" And he is fully ready to kill her. He is He is gonna fucking kill her. He just wants Vanda's entire family dead. Right. And she fucking tackles him to the ground and just embraces him, and she just has nothing left. She just needs something to hold on to, just to, like, keep her grip on sanity. Even though it doesn't work. She's not fucking... That fucking doesn't work in the long run. But in that moment, that's when it clicks for him, when she's just like, she is not my sister anymore. Right. And he's like, boom, the light bulb goes off. And
you can just... And this feeds... Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off,
go for it, dude.
It feeds into this whole... them writing the expressions and them, like, animating it, because you can see the light bulb go off. You can see Silco go, you know what? I can use this to my advantage. Like, it's so clear, but it's also so subtle. I don't know how to explain it, but...
I don't even see it. He's not even thinking about using it to his advantage. He's just sensing that kindred spirit. He's seeing, like, it's just that moment of him seeing himself.
I think my opinion, I think he partially does see it as I can use this to my advantage. Honestly, that's
Maybe.
me personally, but I think
Maybe.
he's like, maybe I can kind of groom this child, but also I see a little bit of her in me. That's why I can groom her. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe.
does that sound weird? Is groom the right word?
I mean, it is a
but
creepy
yeah.
thing. It's meant to be pretty fucking creepy, but
Right.
I don't know. The way I see it, I think it's more compelling if it's just like he like for that second his thoughts of his plans and his machinations just slip into the back of his mind, and he's more just like, I want to care for this child because like I know
I've been in
I
this
know what it's
situation.
like. I know what it's like to have nothing and feel like you're drowning, and that's literally what
Right.
Powder's had. Like Powder is just drowning right now in this emotion.
I mean, Silco did it like figuratively and physically.
Yeah, well,
but
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he just like embraces her back, and he's just like, don't worry, we'll show them. We will show them all. And it pans, it pulls out, and it zooms out. And it's just like a small ember. It's like the ember of the rest of this fucking story that's about to go off. And the beautiful song that plays, and it's just the credits. And when we watch it, when I showed that shit to you for the first time, it was just silence, dude, until the very end of the credits, dude. It's so and it's episode 3. It's episode goddamn 3 that we get this. How is it possible to be that emotionally invested after 3 episodes with these brand new characters?
Yeah.
That is why this show is so good. It's so masterfully written, and they don't waste a single second in building up to these kinds of moments. And that happens again in the series the season finale, where everything up to that point just builds to that moment and that set of scenes.
I think, like, one thing you have to know about me and Riley, when there's, like, a very, very amazing, like, emotional scene, we will sit in silence. We won't say anything to each other. There's no jokes. It is just silence and us, like, absorbing what is happening on screen. And I think that is, like, a true sign of, like, good storytelling. Like, I think, for me, it speaks to me when we both are in awe and just can't speak. I just love that experience.
Getting lost in the moment there.
Right.
And yeah, it's so good. And you were mentioning Jinx's voice actor, but fucking her name's Mia Sinclair Janess plays like young Powder, and she also does a great job. And that's it's like her first fucking acting role, and she just does such an amazing job with it.
Yeah, she does an amazing job.
Yeah, dude, man, it's just, and it's hard for me to talk about the rest of the show because like that's just kind of the peak of what the show can be, and it almost hit that same level in the season finale, where it felt so I feel like it was trying to like mirror that moment where it's just like it's history repeating itself. It's
brought that up.
yeah, I'm sure you did. It's just like history repeating itself, where it's these two girls and their chance to like be a family together, but they know it's just not meant to be after what's happened, and it ends with a big boom. Oh fuck! So,
even this one is even crazier because you see it, like you know it's coming. Whereas with the third episode, you kind of don't know what to expect. But this one, like you expect it because it happens, and you're like, you're off because you're like, no, why is these things happening? But you know why. You've been through both of these girls' journeys, so you understand that at this point, this is the top, this is the pinnacle, and like it's only downhill from here. Like, so I don't know. I just love the mirror, like you said, like the mirror of the 9th episode with the 3rd episode, and understanding the journey it got to this to get to this point.
Yeah, so it's incredible. It's a feat of writing, I will say. And I just want to gush over it more and more. But I think I said most of what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about a lot to really get people into it. Like I don't know what else to say. It's just a really amazing story, amazing fucking writing, amazing music, and It's just a great show. It's a great show. You just have to watch it. I feel like it's just we can go about it like forever, but you just have to watch it to really understand why we feel this way about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last few things I have is just like a little miscellaneous stuff that I could just cover.
Yep.
Just
Shoot.
on the spot. Stuff like oh fuck, I just had it. Hang on. Oh wow, I actually closed it. I have a folder called Up and After Notes.
Hey, great folder.
Sorry, Up and After Thoughts. My bad. I said oh yeah, I was saying like when we go forward into the post time skip, there's stuff like hang on 1 second.
You're busting my balls right now, Riley. I don't know why you're doing this to me and to the audience, but I want to know what your notes say. All right, well, brief intermission, I guess. So, I've recently been
Alright, sorry
watching.
about that.
Oh, okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Sorry, my bad. We're almost to the end of this though. That's fine. So, okay, so what I was gonna say is, in post time skip, you get stuff like Jinx's like incessant need to prove herself to Silco. It's just like going back to that thing where she just needs people to see her as useful and capable. And I thought that was just, I don't want to go too far into these just because like it's hard to talk after going over the best of the show.
Right.
But it's just I just want more. I think I'll just say that I'm not gonna go over all the minutiae and stuff like we do in Iron Man because it is a whole show and there's a lot to talk about. But if we're just giving our main thoughts, you can boil it down to what we spent the last 15 minutes talking about. But the biggest thing is I just want more. I want more as soon as they can get it out. But of course, I don't want them to compromise on the quality.
As of right now, we don't even know if they're gonna get a second season.
I think they confirmed it. I could double check for you though. I'm pretty sure they confirmed it. They've confirmed it.
But no time.
I think all they said is like after 2022.
Okay, which makes sense with the production value of this fucking show.
Absolutely. But no, man, it's one of those things. I can't wait to finish it with Max so I can talk about it again, dude. But I just like it. No other show that I watched last year has really and we watched all the Marvel shows last year, and those are like fun. Yeah. Those are fun, and some of them really got me. Like you can go see our thoughts on Loki. But man, dude, this show just really hit me. It just really got to me how well made this show was and how much they did in so little time.
Off of a show that is based off of a MOBA game, not even a game that has like a true like story that you play through. Off of a MOBA game, they created this really amazing show.
And that's like, it gives me hope for video game shows, video game adaptations, because they just they need to not do it has to be games that can be adapted like this is. Games where there are stories, there are characters, and there are backstories for those characters. Right. But, I if they could do something like an Overwatch show in this style, I would because you have no idea how fucking into Overwatch I was and the story and characters. I was a super fiend on that shit. And if they could do that, that would be amazing. They could do, it gives me hope. That's what I'll say. It really does give me hope for adapting video games into media because, as we all know, that hasn't worked too well in the past.
Yeah, I would also say the same for Apex because Apex has from the little small story stuff I know, it has a really cool and interesting story and the dialogue and stuff between characters and stuff is really interesting. So I would also like to see that adapted. And also they have this really cool art style they do is shell shaded. Oh god, why can't cell shaded? There we go, cell shaded. I couldn't say that. It just has this really cool art style with that, and I think that would be really dope to translate over into an actual show.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely love to see more things follow the path of Arcane, because damn, man. That's all I can say is damn. I want more too.
Yeah. It. I just leave myself speechless when I think about it. When I want to think about stuff to say about it. But I think we got most of the stuff out. Everything else is like little minutia stuff that is like, yeah, we know it's good. Like everything else is like, oh, but what about that? It's like, yeah, it's good. That's like
I'll watch it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, I'll watch it again. I know I'm gonna watch the show again at some point, and that's good because it's not that big of a commitment. It's 9 episodes, which is so goddamn impressive. 9 episodes,
which is crazy when Marvel movies shows have 6, and like it. I feel like they don't even come close. But I mean, there's some good shows. I'm not knocking them, but like, it just speaks for itself. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel has its own appeal of like, getting character cameos and figure out how it's connected and what's happening next, and they also have like decent character arcs and story and stuff. But this show is just the complete package. This show really doesn't. I can't even think of weaknesses that this show really has. Like there are little stuff where it's like arcs happen. Like you mentioned, like the Mel thing. It's like give us more of her early on. But it's just like it's given this time frame.
So
it's
small.
Like, given this time frame, it's like so. It's hard to complain.
Especially if you like that thing like with Mel. Like those are things that like can obviously be. I won't even say fixed, but like flushed out in later iterations. So I'm not even like exactly. So it's just like like you said, perfect package, man. 10 out of 10. Yeah. We'll watch again.
It's great. I just want more. I love it when a show is like, or when any kind of show or movie is over, and I just can't stop thinking about it. And I'm just like, God, I just can't fucking wait for the next one. And that's what I feel right now. I want more. I want to watch more with you so we can fucking talk about it. So good.
Can't wait for Arcane Season 2 discussion.
Arcane Season 2, dude. Yo!
So,
fuck the Book of Boba Fett. Down. We watching Arcane.
Did you say fuck Boba Fett? Is that what you said?
Fuck the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I heard that was pretty decent.
I've heard it. You and Max say you've heard it's decent. I've heard it's kind of bad, but I don't know. I haven't watched it, so.
I've seen people like discuss it on like the Twitter, so maybe me and Max are in the same circles when it comes to
you guys are on Twitter. I'm usually on Reddit, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So winding down, let's get our cool off period. It's like an intense workout. And now we're on like the cool down.
Yeah. So wrapping it up. What are you? Or no, I did that last week. Let's do something different.
Okay.
What games do you recommend right now? 3 games that you recommend.
Are we talking about like modern games?
Nope. Any game you want to recommend right now? Top 3.
Oh Jesus Christ!
To go play.
Pardon me if I delve into stuff that I'm playing now because it is on my mind. I would say if you like platform games, if you like platform games, you've already played Celeste, I would imagine. But if you have an interest, I would recommend Celeste as a game, even though it's. I can't tell if it's really hard or if I'm just brutally bad at platform games, and I think it's the latter. But okay. Celeste is pretty cool. As it's just it's like Arcane. It's just an all-around great package. Okay. So that's a good one. Oh, jeez, you got me over a barrel here. Go play Zombies.
With zombies.
Black Ops 3 Zombies. It's a great package. It's an all-around.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not really up to date on games. Is the thing.
It's okay. I said any game, bro.
Game,
it could be from like the
if you are on a budget and you want a game that you can get like over 1,000 hours in on a budget, you can play Terraria. Terraria is one of the best games ever made. Chris doesn't agree with me, but I know he's wrong.
I sit on the opposite side of the spectrum for that, but you know.
Yeah, well, I know you do, and you're wrong. Terraria is a game. Wow. Terraria is a game I paid $7 for. It was on sale for 30% off. And
I wouldn't even pay that much.
I have over 2,000 hours in it.
that.
It is amazing, and if you haven't played it, I highly suggest it. It's great, and also the community is really great. So if you get into that game and you are kind of confused and you don't know what's going on, there's a lot of great community pages you can go to where people are really supportive. It's a lot like Kerbal Space Program. That'll be my third game. Go play Kerbal Space Program if you have any kind of interest in exploring the stars and sending expendable little men to the moon in many failed attempts. And if you ever get stuck with your math equations, you don't quite know how trajectories or planetary motion works, you can go ask, and people will be very helpful. They'll support you, and they'll be like, here's what you're doing wrong. We've all been there. I am awful at Kerbal, but it's still fun. All right, there you go. I gave you 3 games.
Thank you.
I need to start writing these down beforehand, because dude, you put me on the steamer there.
That's the point. It's just gonna be off
on the spot
questions. I'm gonna ask you.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
we can vibe together,
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. My top 3, of course, the first one is going to be The Last of Us. The first one, go play The Last of Us. I love it. You want to talk about the whole package like Arcane? Fucking the first Last of Us, I love it. I would have there's issues with the fighting. I personally like it, but I can see that being like maybe repetitive or not what you're into. But overall, story's amazing, gameplay's amazing. Go try it.
Get it on PC. I
Is
played
it on PC?
I'm pretty sure it is.
The first one?
If it's not, then get a fucking a keyboard and mouse adapter, because the shooting in that game.
I was pretty okay with it.
I know you were. That was my problem with that game, but that doesn't take away. It is a very good game.
It just had its issues with like sometimes I know this is an issue on PlayStation 3. I didn't play a lot of it on PS4 only because I played that game like 6 times. I beat that game 6 times, and 5 of those times were on fucking PS3, and then I think once on PS4 just so I can say I did it. But yeah, sometimes like the hit registration wouldn't go through, so you would just be swinging and just wouldn't hit anything. I don't know if they ever patched that. It probably is patched for the remaster. I didn't have that issue as far as I can remember. But yeah, just go play it.
This is some game you're pushing.
Yeah.
It's great.
2 would be. I don't know if you could even find this game. You could probably emulate it on a PS2 emulator, but Getting Up by Mark Echo. It's a game about a graffiti artist, but he has to fight and get his representation for his art. It is really weird, but it's cool to me. It's a game I always wanted to be. I never got the chance to, but I still have the disc. And it's just fun. It's just a fun game if you don't have any time, or if you have time, just fucking leisure time. I was just go check it out and see what it is. It has some really dope tracks in there because also it had a lot of hip hop artists and do the soundtrack. So yeah, I would definitely say go check that out.
Is this something that I have to add to the Alex files?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, I'll put it on the list.
Oh man, that's scary. I would definitely want to be there for that.
All right.
Yeah. So go check that out. And my third game, what do I want to recommend? I would say go play Sly Cooper.
I played one of those. I played. I don't know which one it was. I played it at a friend's house on PS2. It had a versus mode where
that might have been 2 or 3.
One player played Sly, and their main goal was to steal shit. And then the other player was the villain who had a gun, and her goal was to just shoot Sly and kill him. And it was actually my first kind of experience with asymmetrical multiplayer. It was kind of cool, actually.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, so Sly had he could do all the parkour stuff and stealth stuff, whereas she had a jetpack and a gun, and that's kind of all you had. But that was powerful enough. If you got a couple shots off, you would kill him and you'd get the point. So it was actually kind of cool. So I would, if you can find a friend to go play some Sly multiplayer, it's pretty good. It has other games on it too.
I don't remember which one that is because I had only played the first one, and I think maybe a little bit of the second one. But yeah, I enjoy those games. This is another like platformer sort of. Very very in the vein of like Jack and Dexter. So yeah, that would be my third game only because nostalgia, and also that's another Naughty Dog game too. I want to say Naughty Dog made the first Sly Cooper.
I couldn't tell you. I didn't play those games.
I'm sure they did. But yeah, that's it. That's my third.
Cool. Look at us.
I think we're good. All right. Anything else you want to leave off on?
If you want daily content, go check out my YouTube. Oh God. Sorry about that.
Go check out his YouTube.
Plugging gave me an ulcer. Go check out youtube.com. Last time I just said youtube.com/Jokerman3219. That takes you to an error page. It's probably like user/Jokerman3219. Or just search it up in the YouTube search bar and you'll find me. And you can find daily content there, Monday through Friday, of mediocre quality. But it's decently fun. And we have guest stars sometimes, like Chris.
Hello.
Yes, we have Chris guest starring, and our friend Max, he guest stars too a lot.
He's not here, but I'll say hello for him too. Hello.
Yes, if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, you can watch me and Max and our friend Alex. We play Yu-Gi-Oh. It's pretty fun. We have a nice little Yu-Gi-Oh tournament progression series thing going on. If you like zombies, you can see Chris and I play zombies.
Like Kingdom Hearts.
You can see me play Kingdom Hearts and just get really angry because I'm playing on level 1.
Very often.
I get angry a lot, but it's all in good fun. If you want to see me get angry, you can go watch me play Celeste. That's coming out at the moment. Yeah, there's my plug. I'm not on any other social media. I do actually have a Twitch. I have done a couple Twitch streams, so it's the same thing. Jokerman3219 on Twitch. It's not regular. But if you drop a follow, as you should, Chris, you'll
do I not follow your Twitch?
Well, no, because I only just did like on my first stream like a couple weeks ago.
What? I'm sure I'm following you because you're one of my mods in my fucking.
Yeah, I just don't know if you like followed me back. Cause I don't know why you would. Is the thing if I wasn't gonna be streaming. Anyway, yeah, you can go check that out. It's not regular, but it's occasionally I'll do stuff like Kingdom Hearts randomizers with Max, or playing like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel or something, because that's out. If you like Yu-Gi-Oh!, go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's really good. And Chris also has a Twitch.
Yes, my Twitch is Modern Day Age, and also my YouTube is also Modern Day Age, so you can follow me on there. My Twitter is also Modern Day Age, but the Modern Day Age, the age part has 2 E's at the end, so there you go. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, is rose.coloredboy with 2 Y's. And yeah, that's my plug. That's my shameless plug.
Got to get that plugged in.
Otherwise, I'm all set. Go watch Arcane.
Oh, really. Please do.
Yeah.
It may not change your life, but it's some
good soup.
it's a nice soup. Yeah, it may not be like a 5-class Angus steak.
But
actually, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Like you're feeling sick, and you're like, damn, I don't want anything like I don't want none of that. I just want some nice ass soup. That's what Arcane is. Some nice ass soup. And you're like, once you're past the sickness, you're like, you know what? That soup was good. I'm gonna go back and get some more. That's what Arcane is.
And that's even better because you can actually smell, which helps enhance your taste of the soup.
Exactly. Riley, you're unlocking something. We gotta close the podcast now, or else we're gonna go back and watch Arcane right now.
Yeah. Next time you can also see us rank our 3 favorite soups. That'll be the questions for next time.
Is that okay? All right, bet. I'm gonna make sure I keep that.
Hell yeah,
in the pocket.
Dude. All right. Cool.
All right. Yeah.